Welcome back, everyone.
Come to. Fuck you!
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Welcome to Season 13 of Challenger League. And, we have got quite a doozy we're looking at. We've got a bunch of drivers driving for a bunch of different teams, a few new faces and a new team all together as we start our season off at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, in the lovely region of Catalonia. And I am joined by Saucy for the first round of this season. How are we going?
Hi guys, yeah, I couldn't use my hand, so now I'm using my mouth. So this is one of the base tracks in the game, and it is, what's it called? Yeah, Catalonia.
It's a pretty fast track, all things considered. We see Matty with a good lap to start us off, just under that 32-second barrier. Jeff is in P2, following with Gorlomi. So he doesn't put a good lap on the board. It looks like he's made a few mistakes too. Let's go to Matima. He looks comfy. Maybe a faster second lap as he just rounds the final corner, and it will be an improvement, but Flix will take provisional pole with 1 lap to go in our qualifying session with a 31.82. Guzman tying with Matima on 31.90.
Yeah, Phantomy is doing pretty well. He won the AL race for this one, and I think he's going to have quite a good showing for CL, despite it being his third race effectively. All three of which have been on this map. So
Yeah.
let's see how he does.
So it does Himpo!
See if he can-
Whoa, there goes an interesting one. That's pole position for Himpo in the massive motorsport car. And that is a
Finally
good look
moving
for him.
forward.
Very nice for him. Himpo in P1. Flix will start alongside for the feature race, the HRT team. Good result for him. It's a 3-way tie for third. Pretty sure Matty put that time in first, followed by Guzman, then Jeff. But Matima in the new Center Corsa team will be hoping to go one better this season after seeing his teammate take the top step last time in Season 12. Jeff and Guzman both will be hoping to challenge for that. Jeff, we haven't seen too much of him, but he did return for the season finale last time, and that was also the last time we raced in Spain. Phantomy starting in P6. We'll have to see how he goes for his third start today. 32 flat for him. Juan and Simon saw that. The VEO is locking out row number 4, and it's Kiato and Vlad. They will start 9 and 10 for the feature race, but will start first and second. Vlad in first and Kiato in second place for the sprint. We do have the top 10 flipped around for the sprint race, of course. Jaruni will start in P11. A little unlucky there, just a few hundredths off of the top 10. Tomatoes, the other Center Corsa, in P12. Golormi in 13th, followed by Little One. Audi Craze, Eurist, and then Bubbles and ST53 will round out the last slot on the grid. ST53 not getting a great lap overall, but everyone else within 6/10 of the pole time. And maybe people were expecting it to go a little faster, but it's been pretty good so far. And we are definitely in for a tight, hotly contested first race of the season.
Yeah, still believe it's all eyes on Phantomy. He set a pretty good lap for AL's quali, and I don't think it's comparable to what we have here actually. I'm not really sure what it was last time, but yeah, the gap is pretty small for the first 5 from Himpo to Pumpkin. So let's see how they do in the race and sprint, which is coming up soon.
Yeah, first up is the sprint. As always, we are flipping the top 10 around. So it'll be Vlad. The Mazda Motorsport tars actually flipped around here since they locked out first and second. It'll be Vlad starting in pole, Himpo in 10th. 5 red lights, and we are underway for season 13. There's a stall on the grid. I think it was Juan stalling on the grid there. That is not what you want to see to start off the season. Guzman going wide into turn 3 as Vlad leads us away. Kiato and Simon saw that behind him. Kiato challenging into turn 5. And it's still pretty tight there. Kiato and Phantomy following through. Jeff in P5. Hold on with that. Matty and Flix challenging him. Himpo then. Kuziman, Audi Craze and Golomi sitting in P11. There's a bit of a mistake there. The parlor's really punched up. Simon saw that, has boosted through. Phantomy off the wall, up the straight, and that's a lot of time lost for him. Simon saw that into the lead of the race. Kiato with a mistake in turn 1, and he's going to fall away from the top 2. Matimar shoving his way through. The center Corsa driver fighting for the lead of the race now. He's side by side into turn 7. Matimar just gets squeezed a little bit there, and Simon saw that, holds onto the lead. Kiato going on the outside into that runoff position will still hold on to P3. It's a quite tightly contested race so far. SC falling away quite a lot in the back of the field as well.
Still have a huge bunch behind the first two of Matima and Simon. And it's going quite well for them.
And from
oh my god, we got 3 coming.
Oh my goodness.
3-1.
Oh, 3, 4 wide in. Jaruni makes a mistake. Himpo Golomi are going to chase him down. He's made another mistake. The other velocity, Mr. Bubbles, goes through, and so does his teammate Flix. Urist following behind. Kiato's fallen away a lot. Oh, goodness. Big mistake from Kiato. He's all the way down in 11th. He was chasing for the top 4, I believe, before that. Bubbles, Guziman, Tomatoes getting caught up in that. Just getting shoved off there. Addy Crazy Phantomy now in 14th with even more mistakes. Unfortunate for the upcoming driver, Little One, followed by Juan and ST53 at the back of the field. But it is Matimar, though, who's sort of gapped Simon. Saw that now. He's up by about a second after a little under 4 laps of this race so far. They are running to 11 laps, and it is a sprint, so all the drivers will not be making a pit stop. And the pace will mainly be determined by that start, of course, but also just how consistent the drivers are at these laps. Jeff now pulling into P2. It's going to be a good look to see the Heritage Performer driver back on the field and back doing well. Simon saw that. We would love a strong finish here for the opener of the season. He has been on the up in the past few rounds, if I remember correctly. Himpo and Flix with Vlad behind them. It's a good start for the Mazda Motorsport team for sure. Team that, from memory, finished quite low in the Constructors last season. 6th place for them in Season 12, so definitely an improvement for them on the cards. And on the cards as well would be improvement for Jeff to Jeff and the Heritage Performance team, who did finish dead last time out. It is still Matimar pulling away just a little bit more. 1.73 the gap as we start lap 7. Jeff still fighting with Simon. Saw that, but he looks to have cleared him just a bit. Flix is looking to run away in 4th, followed by Vlad and Himpo. Then it's Urist and Jaruni following behind those two. The two UL drivers looking to get their feet wet before the race in a couple of hours' time. Jaruni with another small error lets Urist into P7. Followed by Guzman in P9 for the Nordic Blizzard team. Then Audi Craze rounding top 10. He's made a bit of a push from the back after a pretty poor start, but he's fighting now for that P9 position for the Rika Auto team, who won't be without that powerhouse team they had last season, of course. Figueroa moving on to UL, and Matimar now driving for the Center Corsa team. Just increase the gap just a little bit more. It's looking to be about 2 seconds as he closes up lap 8. Jeff still chasing him down, but it looks like a comfortable P2 is on the cards for him. Simon saw that, is slowly losing time to Flix. Now, might be interesting to see if Flix can maybe challenge for that P3 latter end of the race. There's still 3 laps to go, so definitely time for him to make some moves happen. And he's actually gaining quite a lot, actually. He's on the slipstream now. Might try and move on the outside. The switchback might be the way to go for Flix here. Side by side as we go through the final sector through the chicane. And it is Flix into P3 for now. But Simon saw that has that overspeed thanks to the slipstream. Flix is just going to back out. He knows what he wants from this fight. And Simon has unfortunately made a mess of that first few corners that right-left section, turns 1 and 2, and he's back behind Flix into P4. But Flix has made a mistake. Simon through, and oh no, that's a big collision there. Flix taking to the runoff, and Simon just catching the grass a bit there. That's a bit of a slow for him. Jeff is also kind of slow compared to these guys. So Jaruni has dropped up to 5th. I haven't really caught that. Simon has made a mistake on the final corner. Jaruni might be able to challenge him for 4th now. And you got the Mazda Motorsports cars fighting with Urist, who finds trouble in that first corner with Vlad hogging the road at the moment. 3 cars fighting there. Guzman trying to pick up the pieces there in P9. Audi Craze in 10th. But it is a long way back because the pole is back at it again. Matima running through for another sprint victory after getting that last one from Season 12. And he starts with a perfect start in Season 13. Jeff and Flix will round the podium. Jaruni will take P4. Himpo and Vlad will complete a 6-7, sorry, for the Mazda Motorsport team. Urist, Guzman, Audi Craze will round out the top 10. Nolan just pipped at the end by Bubbles, I think. Not sure what happened there. Little one finishing in 17th, and ST will round out the grid there. I saw a bit of a jump there from Bubbles. I'm not too sure what happened there, but it was still pretty tight, all things considered, from the rest of the grid. But Matimar running away with that race victory, and his first for this season, after having, I believe, only the one last season. That was, no, 2, sorry. 2 last season, and the last one being the final sprint of last season, of course. Jeff continues his return to the season with another podium, this time a 2nd place. Flix in P3, a good account for him, given the start, of course. Simon saw that. Will run home to P4. Good result for the VEO driver. And it's Jaruni picking up P5 as well as the fastest lap, which ensures that HRT Push Pro start the season at the top of the table. Mazda Motorsports Himpo ahead of his teammate Vlad for 6th and 7th. Urist in P8, followed by Guzman in the Nordic Blizzard car, just behind in P9, and Audi Craze rounding out the top 10. Behind him is Kiato, then Gorlomi, Tomatoes and Juan, 13th and 14th, and it's Phantomy in P15, Bubbles in 16th, and it's Little One and ST53 rounding the grid out. Just, yeah, still pretty tight, especially through that midfield. 9 seconds to about 14, so about 6 seconds separating P8 and P15 at the end of the race.
Yeah, that was a really good effort by Simon. He nearly took the podium from Flix there, but in the end, Flix still got it. At least
Jaruni
managed to get some points on EO after Juan all in the back.
I've just remembered that Jaruni did finish on our screens ahead of Simon, but the timing sheet has given that to Simon as well. But yeah, sometimes the timing sheet is like that. There might be something else going on with, I think Bubbles finished a little further ahead than he saw on his screen and what we saw on our screens, but that'll have to be looked at in race review. But for now, we have to go straight into the feature race. Alright, here we are. Sprint race, feature race time, sorry. 30 laps to go. Everyone looks to be set on the softs. We are underway. Himpo leads us off. Flix and Guzman chasing along as he head down into turn 1. Phantomy maybe finding a bit of trouble there. It's a bit of an awkward start for Kiato there as well. Tomatoes getting punted. Golormi finds the gravel, and so does Phantomy and Jeff. That is huge for him. Oh wow, that is so much trouble there. Himpo and Juan now in the top 2. Juan pushing his way into the very front. Matimar and Flix behind him. It's quite challenging for some of these drivers here, even in the middle of the field. Audi Craze and Jeff. Oh my goodness, that is a huge shove there. And Vlad lucky to get caught back into the into the rest of the field, but Jeff is now starting in last. It's a disaster for the 2 Heritage Performance cars. We see that most of the drivers are on the soft tyre. There is a new rule change for this season though. In our feature race, that every driver needs to use 2 different sets of compounds. Otherwise, they will be disqualified come the end of the race. So everyone on the softs right now will have to bolt on either the mediums or the hards before the end of the race, and vice versa for everyone on the mediums and hards. They'll have to bolt on a separate compound to ensure they successfully reach the end of the race here. Juan still leading though, and he's got a decent gap on Flix and Himpo behind him. And it's Matimar getting hounded by the Nordic Blizzards in that red and yellow, that nice Spanish livery they've got going on for race 1 here. And Matimar really can't shake off Guzman and Kiato. And Kiato especially is going to really benefit from the slipstream given he's on the medium tyres to start us off here. But he does make a bit of a mistake entering turn 3, and they might have lost in the slipstream there. That is pretty big. Girouni in P7 will be starting proceedings on the hard tyre. Phantom here with a bit of a recovery after an awkward start for him is in P8. Audi Craze, his teammate in 9th, and Splad chasing down in P. Oh, that's a big shove between Tomatoes and Jeff, as Jeff is hounding some of these drivers. He's hoping to really get past and make some moves happen. He is on the hards though, so we'll have to deal with some cars on fresher rubber, faster rubber on those softs and mediums. Simon saw that, and Golomi really running the road there. Tomatoes going wide. Jeff finds a way through. Simon has found a lot more than just grass. He has found the gravel a little bit. Jeff is... That looked like a little bit of a weird interaction there. And Golomi's found the wall. That is not what you want to see. Anyways, Himpo has caught up to Flix, so the top two are running away now, and they'll be hoping to team up together and push away. Juan has fallen back a little bit, and he's fallen into the clutches of Guziman and Matimar in front, and the VEO machine is slowly falling away now as the tyres are starting to degrade just a bit more. Kyoto following behind, still in 6th, and it's Phantomy just ahead of Girouni. Girouni really hoping to take some of that slipstream and maybe get himself back into that fight with Kyoto. Especially with the grip the hards will have for the next, say, 7-8 laps. Does put in a personal best in the previous lap. Vlad in P9, followed by Audi Craze, Jeff, Simon, and Golomi in 14th, followed by Bubbles, Eurus, Little One, and ST53 with Tomatoes running at the back of the field. Thoughts on that, Saucy? Is he here? Oh, no. Don't think he is. That's unfortunate. I might have caught something. Bit of a connection issue on his part, maybe, or just overall connections in general. Flick still running away with Himpo in 1st and 2nd as we get our way on with P8. And that's actually interesting that a couple of the drivers at the back have started on the pit strategies. Golomi on the hards and Tomatoes pitting onto the hard tyre as well. Golomi making that mandatory stop, and so is Tomatoes. And Juan is also in for a set of hard tyres. As we go in, we'll see the leaders also in now. Flix, Himpo, Matimar, Guziman all in at the same time. Kyoto, Phantomy in as well. Remember that you do need to have 2 separate compounds by the end of the race. Flix, who is going for a second set of the softs, that is completely fine. He does need to finish the race on a different set, of course, but running multiple of the same set is all fine and well. We see a lot of the drivers now, the grid outside of Flix and Himpo, are completely on hard tyres, and you'd have to think that this might be a golden opportunity for Flix to maybe run away and take the win here. This might be pivotal in his race for the for this first win of the season here. Himpo is following in on those medium tyres, and that could prove to be incredibly beneficial for him, and so is Jeff actually, who hasn't made a stop yet. Girouni also haven't made a stop, still running in P1 at the moment, 3 seconds ahead of Flix, who makes a bit of a mistake there. Himpo still showing up, just trying to get that slipstream. No, Flix with another mistake. Himpo through, and Jeff through as well. Oh wow. Flix muscling his way past Jeff though on those softs. He still has a lot of grip, a lot of pace on those tyres, but it will give a lot of breathing room for Girouni in front as he still runs for lap 11 on those hard tyres. And more than half of the grid now has made that opening stop. Mostly everyone except for the guys who started on the hards, of course. ST in as I speak there, but Flix is coming through for another lap. Himpo still chasing him down, taking that slipstream quite nicely. Jaruni running to lap 12 now on the hard tyres, and Jeff is slowly falling away from the provisional top 2 as he finds the grip and the wear really, really hard to deal with at the moment. Guzman and Matimar catching up to him as we speak. Kyato in P7, followed by Juan, Urist, and Phantomy having a little battle here. Phantomy goes a bit wide, trying to navigate from Urist making a mistake there. And you do have that outside lane at the middle of the track there if you really need to avoid some contact. It is a slower path to go on, but it is overall beneficial to have, of course. Jeff in now for some soft tyres. He's going to be running those hopefully not too long. We'll have to see what he does with the strategy here. It's an interesting time to pit. He might be going for hard, soft, hard, maybe, to make the end. But it does allow for some opportunities later in the race. Himpo and Flix now have gotten past Jaruni, and Jaruni has stayed up for another lap, hoping, perhaps praying to get a bit of slipstream from the 2 in front of him, but it's not looking like it at all. And Flix is actually finding a bit of trouble here on the grid, and Himpo is still running quite nice, quite tight with him. Just out of slipstream range it seems like now though. So this is a good opportunity for Flix to run away, but the tyres are not in a good state at all. Especially, this is the exact point of the race here, in terms of where they started, where Himpo's mediums will start to really improve, really start to work better in the corners than Flix's soft tyres. We see Jaruni in at last after 14 laps on those hard tyres. He comes out in P9 behind Jeff and Phantomy on some fresh rubber. He'll be hopefully running 2 sets of softs to round out his race. But it is Flix still in the first position, with Himpo following along very comfy on those medium tyres. Maybe a bit too comfy. He's looking to get an inch here. He's got slightly on the side in turn 1, but he just backs out before making a genuine move there. Into turn 4 we go between these two. It's quite nip and tuck here. Himpo and Flix still running. Flix still, like, he's still sort of struggling on these softs here. It has been about 8 laps. Oh, that's a big mistake there. Himpo getting compromised, and I wouldn't be surprised if Flix makes the move to pit now, and he does. In for him. Guzman and Matima running through on those hard tyres, and Flix will have to go for the hard tyres, and hopefully, I think his plan is to maybe go for these to the end of the race. He does have to run them for 14 laps, so it'll be big to see if he can hold on to the grip at the end. Speaking of grip there, Jaruni just running right behind Flix, who's just made that stop, the 2 teammates, running 5th and 6th. That does give Himpo the lead of the race now, and he's going to be running on for a bit longer, and maybe going for a different strategy, of course. He has run the softs, and he's run the mediums now, from memory, and have to see what he does for his last stop. Guzman and Matima are now running 2nd and 3rd. Pretty comfy on those tyres for now, but we'll have to see what they do for that final stop, of course, given that Flix in particular has made that gambit already. He's made the early call to make a 2-stop and make that last stint be that long running hard stint, of course. Jaruni in P5, followed by Kyato and Jeff in 6th and 7th. We have a pit stop, and it's Himpo who's going in for another set of mediums. He does end up quite a ways away behind Flix, though, so the undercut proving successful there. Phantomy now running in P8, followed by Juan. Phantomy's hards, actually, they're both on a pretty equal levels of wear now. True drivers as Phantomy makes a bit of a mistake. Juan just trying to get through any way possible, and it's not looking like there's a chance for him to get past just yet. Simon saw that, and Bubbles running in 11th and 12th, and Bubbles seems to have brought Simon along with him to that runoff area. Urus on some fresh soft tyres. Oh, not fresh actually, they're not quite fresh. They're an Audi Craze, and a couple of drivers going into the pit lane now, and a few coming out. Phantomy and Juan both out for some last one more stint, and they are on the hards, so interesting to see that they're going for the hards instead of the mediums that Himpo decided to end the race on. or at least we hope to end the race on. We wouldn't want to see another stop from him given his position at the moment. Juan and Phantom still fighting it out. Eurist trying to get into this fray as well. He still needs to pit, however, and so do some of the other drivers around him, of course. But let's get back to the leaders, of course. Matima, on the hards now. Guzman has made that stop early, so you'd assume that the pole will respond in kind at the end of this lap, or risk potentially on that undercut. No, he's going to stay out. He's going to let Flix take the lead of the race, it looks like. He's going to hope that the speed from the Latvian can take him and potentially circumvent that undercut from Guzman, especially as well, because if he goes like even this lap, he could potentially pit for the soft tyre, and that would be a big boon in a fight for a higher position there. Girouni still on the soft tyre, will be looking for a stop as well. His teammate has ran away now, and Himpo is still chasing, but I don't think he's gaining too much time. So we see that Flix with a 32.63 last time. So Himpo only half a tenth faster on that previous lap, and it's quite a ways away between the two. So Himpo will need to get a move on, or hope that Flix's tyres really start to die out in the latter stage of the race if he wants any chance of this win. Flix, that strategy move from him is looking like it's going better and better the longer it's going on. Guzman now in P3, Matima about 1 second behind him, so the overcut has ended up working perfectly for the pole. He's not too far away from Guzman, and the tyre difference between the softs and the mediums will really come into play there. Girouni on P5 now on a fresh set of softs, and so is Jeff, who's made a pretty strong recovery after a dismal start. Kiato and Vlad still fighting away, mediums v hards, so I assume Vlad is just going to hold on to that slipstream and try to pull away and hold on to P8 there. Phantomy chasing hard on P9, then it's Golormi, Guan, Audi Craze and Tomatoes in 13th. Simon saw that in Eurus battling it out for P14 here. And Bubbles behind them with Little One and ST53, the only two drivers who have been lapped so far. Pretty intense race, all things considered. Lots of high-speed shenanigans as Flix is slowly actually pulling away quite a bit against Himpo. This gap is still about 3 seconds, and it's about a 3-second gap between Himpo and Guzman, but we'll have to see if that changes with Matima in the fray as well. So Flix with a 32.95 last lap. Himpo actually 2 tenths faster, and Matima almost a full second faster than Himpo. So the softs are really paying off, and at this rate, Matima might be able to challenge for P2. Guzman will be hoping for that as well. He takes that slipstream with Ernest, thinking, hey, we can both challenge for the podium here, and Himpo is on much older medium tyres than Guzman is, so there's every chance that the Finn could potentially end up not even on the podium at the end of 30 laps. Into lap 27 now, 4 laps to go from the top, and Flix is still comfortable in front, 3-second gap between him and Himpo. Matima is slowly chipping away that gap between second and third, with Guzman in tow with him. Girouni is hoping that anything can happen between the guys in front, because it looks like he's in a bit of no man's land in P5 at the moment. And the same could be said for Jeff in P6 and Kiato in P7, just running their own races, looking quite comfortable with their positions. Phantomy and Vlad still fighting it out for P8 and P9, sorry. Be a good result for the Mazda Motorsport team to get 2 top 10 finishes, of course. And Vlad is looking to achieve that alongside Himpo, of course. And we'll have to see how that progresses later on. Golormi in P10, just a clear ways up from Juan. There isn't too much battling outside of that front pack, and Simon saw that Tomatoes, Eurist and Bubbles also chasing out. Tomatoes, sorry, on some very old hard compound tyres. It's looking like it's the goods for him. Bubbles and Eurist both running on the softs, and they're chasing down Simon saw that, but they're on equally worn soft tyres. Simon looks to just be able to pull away just a bit more. The gap's still increasing between the front two. We have a battle now for P2 here. Matima tries to make a move in the hairpin, and it looks like he's got the job done. Himpo really finding the struggle on those tyres. Guzman tries to follow suit. and they go wide in the final corner. Himpo finding trouble there, and he's out of the running. He's out of the podium now, and he might be able to lose. There might be a chance for him to lose P4, sorry, with Giroudi on the come up as well. Flick still, he's actually built his he's actually built his gap to the chasers now. As we round out the final corners, Flicks, I believe it's the first time in this team, and it's a first feature race win for him. Guzman takes P2. Oh, I didn't see that. Matimar made a mistake there. He finishes in third. Himpo barely holds on to P4 ahead of Giroudi. Then it's Jeff to Jeff in P6, sorry. Keanu in 7th. Fantamy will come home in P8 with Vlad in 9th. Good result for the two of them. Gorlomi rounds out the top 10. And one following just behind him with Audi Craze in 12th. Urist in 13th. Tomatoes and Simon saw that Bubbles might have made a mistake there. He's lost out. And he's finishing in 16th with Little One and ST53 still to finish. Not to mention as well is that Flick's also taking the fast slap of the race with that daring strategy, and it paid off quite nicely. He was able to get so much free air, so much clean air away from any of his rivals, and wasn't really able to, wasn't given the opportunity to fight for his positions. Actually, Matimar tied him on the fastest lap account. So we'll have to see. We'll have to run back and see who got the fastest lap first, of course. But Flicks, Guzman, Matimar, the podium, and we'll have to see if that becomes a trend later in the season. Of course, two of those guys finishing on the podium in the sprint. Of course, just Guzman in change of Jeff to Jeff in that regard. Giroudi, Himpo in P4, sorry, followed by Giroudi, Jeff to Jeff in 6th. Then it's Kiato, Fantamy, Vlad, and Kolomi. Definitely a lot more gaps in the overall grid here, but as we head down to the lower half, it's still pretty close. Gorlomi followed by Juan in 11th, Audi Craze, then Eurus, Tomatoes. Simon saw that just ahead of Bubbles, then Little One and ST53 rounding out the finishes for today. No retirements is a good thing to see, especially in such a high-level league as this. Of course, one step away from the pinnacle of UR2D eSports. But that rounds out the first round of the season for Season 13. And it's been quite the entertaining run. And that gives us a lot of questions as to who will actually start dominating, who will pull away from the rest of the field when we come through the next couple of rounds. Speaking of, next week we return to an old favourite. The Okayama International Circuit will greet us once again for the Japanese Grand Prix next time out. For now, that is all though. Thanks for watching.